All right, let's start, and then people will just join after. So, good afternoon, everyone. We're here again to talk about Copilot and specifically how to enhance your communication with it. So, this training will focus on your interaction with Copilot, particularly regarding prompting. The idea behind that is that your primary means of communication with Copilot is through prompting. By improving this aspect, you'll achieve better results and in turn work more efficiently and effectively. So the agenda is as follows. First, a quick review of the basics of Microsoft Copilot. Prompting is the main way you interact with Copilot, so it's important to master it to improve your communication. Then we will test what we've learned with real examples, followed by closing remarks. And of course, you can ask your question in the chat at any given moment, and I will address them at the end. So in 2023, Microsoft introduced Copilot for M365, which is now called M365 Copilot, and it has become your AI assistant at work. Copilot is not just a better way to do the same task, it's a completely new way of working. Before we begin the training, it's a good idea to introduce Copilot for those who maybe are less familiar with this tool. So with Microsoft 365 Copilot, you have a powerful and reliable AI assistant for work, seamlessly integrated in all your data across different devices. It uses the latest language models, which is GPT-4 Turbo, and combines them with your web activity data, Microsoft Graph, daily apps like Word, Excel, PowerPoint, Outlook, Teams. You can also integrate data from over 1,200 plugins. For example, we have Adobe, SAP, Workday, and many others. Of course, all of this is protected by Microsoft security. This is a complex context that will allow Copilot to provide smarter and more relevant responses, making it an essential tool for you and for your work, obviously. Now you might ask me, there are many AI tools out there, so why should I choose Copilot? And I'm sure you all have been asked this before. Well, Copilot is designed with Microsoft comprehensive approach and relies on the strong foundations of Microsoft 365 regarding security, governance, compliance, and privacy. So in summary, it is safe to use with your data. Microsoft focuses on a responsible AI approach, and to better understand, let's just break it down quickly. So the first point is security first. A common concern among customers is whether Copilot will give users access to content they didn't have before. So the answer to this is no. Copilot respects your existing permission and policies for data access. So private OneDrive files are not accessible. Your sensitive data is protected. When Copilot used to create a new content, this content would inherit the label of the source content, so it will making it easier for you to protect your data with the existing DLP policies. Second, the restricted search in SharePoint. So the restricted search in SharePoint is meant to give customers time to review and audit set permissions. So basically, this means your admin team handles data access and permission. So you, as a user, you don't have to worry about anything while you're using Copilot. Next, privacy. So with Copilot, you control your data. Your data is encrypted, and the rest is encrypted at rest and in transit. So Microsoft does not use your data to train the LLM used by Copilot. Business data protection means that Copilot does not have access to your data. It does not retain prompts, and it does not use your data to train the model. The main advantage of AI is its ability to improve your work. Well, Copilot is your virtual assistant to help reduce repetitive tasks, find the information for you quickly, also complete your task, and obviously increase your productivity. And also one thing to remember is that employees that who adopts AI skill can enjoy many benefits in their careers because they will develop this, that AI reflects. Business chat or biz chat is the chat experience at the core of Microsoft 365 Copilot. It understands your priorities and context by analyzing your work, applications, and data, as well as the internet to help you catch up, analyze, summarize, learn, and create. This chat is accessible from multiple entries to assist you wherever you work. So you can have it either on the web, you can have it through different applications, through in-app chat, Teams, Outlook, PowerPoint. So for example, Microsoft 365 Copilot in Outlook can help you write an email, or in Teams, it can provide you with tips during your meeting. And before we dive deeper into how to improve your communications with Copilot, let's take a look at the most common examples of Copilot. And it's the intelligent recap and Copilot in Teams. So imagine you are invited into two meetings at the same time, which we all know happens more often than we would like. By recording the call, you have a fantastic way to catch up on the content. So not only can you review the entire session, but also receive the most important notes, tasks, and more. And of course, all of this is presented in a way that it's quickly for you to catch up and brings you up to speed. The intelligent recap experience is a great starting point because it is integrated and automated for all users. It provides a familiar and standardized experience, segments the recording with the timestamps, and it's available after the meeting. This is a good beginning, but Copilot goes even further by allowing you to ask any questions about the meeting. So Copilot on Demand uses a conversational user interface based on each user's unique questions and prompts, and it's available during and after the meeting. So this takes your information and insights to a whole new level, not only after the call, but also during the call. So imagine you are multitasking and miss the last 2 minutes of a meeting. You can just ask Copilot to summarize those minutes, and in a simple sentence or a few bullet points. And I mean, in a matter of seconds, it will provide you with the summary so you can keep up with the meeting content. But outside of Teams, there are many other places where Copilot can help you work. So whether it's in sales, finance, or human resources, Copilot simplifies daily tasks and gives employees time to focus on more important tasks. And every SMBs have their HR or sales department. So for you, it's easy to target one of these departments and give actual use cases that will let you drive the conversation with a potential client. So all of this comes back to making you more efficient and faster in your daily work. The right way to analyze productivity is at the workflow level, not at the application level. The use of an applications can vary from person to person, but general, the workflows like effective meetings management, data analysis, content creations, and email processing are commonly shared through the organization. So it is easy for you to create use cases for your potential clients. For example, if this client receive a lot of emails, you can focus on email processing, and Copilot can summarize email threads for you and draft responses with the tone of your voice. But let's say if these clients have a lot of data to deal with, so you can just use Copilot to quickly extract insights from the data and, for example, create an Excel chart. So all these tasks are present in most of the small and medium-sized enterprises. So it's easy for you to demonstrate the effectiveness of Copilot. And I know that I'm currently talking to business people, so here are some numbers for you. So according to a study, 71% of Copilot users reported saving time on mundane tasks. 64 spend less time processing email, and 85 access a good first draft more quickly. So the thing to remember here is that Copilot users are more productive. Here I give you some useful resources on the adoption of Copilot. This will be helpful for you during your conversations with your customers. So you can just click on the link to access the content. You can also click here to download the success kit. Uh, well, with the link below here. Now let's move on to the Copilot prompts. So here, there's 10 prompts you must absolutely try when you get a Copilot license. And since the beginning of the training, we've already talked about the first 3 prompts. You can also ask Copilot to summarize a document for you, or help you review content by asking questions related to any documents. And so you can also access Copilot Lab for more prompts by clicking the link in the presentation. And prompting is a very important concept with Copilot because it's the main way to interact with the assistant. And for those who aren't aware of maybe what prompting is, so prompts are the phrases or requests you use to ask Copilot to do a task for you. So this can include various actions such as summarizing a text, creating a new document, modifying or analyzing existing information. It feels like having a conversation with a person, if you're interacting with like a personal assistant. So the first step is to clarify and clearly state your goal. This process makes using Copilot very simple and tailored to your needs. A well-designed prompt can generate accurate and relevant results, while a poorly formulated prompt can lead to errors, confusion, or irrelevant outcomes. Here are some best practices for crafting effective prompts for natural language processing systems, just like Copilot. So first of all, be consistent and structured. Use uniform terminology, format, and style throughout the prompt. So you need to ensure that the prompt is well structured and logical, and in relation to the request, task, and desired output. Secondly, be realistic and reasonable. Set realistic expectations based on the system capabilities. Avoid asking for overly complex tasks or demanding results within unreasonable time frame or with unrealistic resources. Be creative and diverse. So explore different ways to formulate your prompts. It can vary from examples or context, or consider multiple aspects of the task. You need to avoid reusing the similar prompts or copying examples without adapting them to your context. And also, you need to remember this, right? Goal, context, source, and expectations. Following these tips, they will help you get more effective and relevant responses from Copilot. Thirdly, it is important for you to maintain the conversation. So it is impossible to, it's impossible to write the perfect prompt the first try, or so don't hesitate to ask follow-up questions until you get the answer you're looking for. You need to break down the task into several steps. this can sometimes be helpful. This will allow you to check at each stage whether Copilot is heading to the right direction. You should think of Copilot responses as you would when ask when you ask someone for help, maybe a colleague. So it's the same thing. The answer won't be perfect on the first attempt. You may need to provide additional context. Sometimes, just like a colleague, Copilot may not know all the answers, so it's important to remember that Copilot has some limitations similar to those of a colleague of yours. Let's see the best practices in a live demo. So I'm gonna share my screen here, and we can go on Copilot Word. So you should be able to see my screen now. All right. So we're now in Word, and the first best practice concern all the points we've discussed previously, and just try to include as many details as possible. So just explain how Copilot should respond to meet your request, as well as any specific sources of informations that Copilot should use, such a file or email. So let's just try that out and ask Copilot, for example, to just gonna copy and paste my prompt. So let's ask Copilot to write a blog post about sustainable practice in agriculture. Let's see what it will generate. So this first prompt is fairly concise. As we can see, we get a decent result, but not quite what we wanted. So we need to try something else, right? So if I just go back and try something else. So let's say now it's almost the same, but now I have a second prompt that is much more detailed. I have a specification length, and I got a target audience and a focus on certain topics. So here I have focusing on the significance and benefits of sustainable agriculture practices like organic farming, and I also here have the expectations, which is uh, you know including concrete examples here. Here I have the examples and reliable sources at the very end. So I will have a good conclusion of the blog. So let's just generate and see the results. So as you can see, we have the real world examples here. And I mean, this is more aligned with our expectations than the first try, than the first prompt. So at the end, we have the conclusion, which is what we asked for. So let's try something else now. Um, and the thing to remember is that when it comes to prompt, you know that order matters. So the order of your instruction can impact the response you get. So later parts of a prompt are likely to be emphasized more than the earlier parts. So experiment with different order to understand the impact if you want Copilot to use a specific file or source, put the information at last. Here, it's not necessarily a best practice. I'm going to show you, I'll show you, it's not necessarily a best practice, but rather a matter of preference. You can experiment with the order of instruction you have you want. So I will try this same prompts in the two different ways, and just let's see what if we do have the same results or not. So the first prompt will be just gonna copy and paste it. So I will ask Copilot to craft a blog post outlining the benefits of meditations. Meditation has been a practice for centuries, and it's known for reducing stress. For instance, mindfulness meditation has shown positive effects on mental health. So let's just see Copilot will generate, and we'll try to just change the order of the prompt and just see if we get the same results or not. So that's what we have here. It's it's pretty good, but let's try in a different way. So let's try now to ask Copilot. Meditation has been a practice for centuries and is known for reducing stress. Mindfulness meditations, for example, has shown positive effects on mental health. Given this, craft a blog post outlining the benefits of meditation. So let's see if we will have the same result. So as you can see, it's not quite the same format. This is actually different. So and of course it's a matter of preferences. So the purpose and the context, it's not the same. I'll show you exactly what I mean by changing the so changing the order. So in the first, so as you can see here, I'll try to. Okay, so I have my goal, so which is craft a blog outlining the benefits of meditation. I have my context. Meditation has been practiced for centuries and is known for reducing stress. And I have the example at the very end. So that was the first prompt. And for the second prompt, I had the same kind of well it's basically the same prompt but just in different format. So here I put it the context first, then example, and at the very end the goal. So it's for you, well, you just feel free to try the different arrangement for you, and just to see how it works best for you. So let's see, let's try something else. And since Copilot uses generative AI, the response it provides will not always be um, the same result, and each interaction can generate slightly different results. By giving the specific information and instruction to Copilot, you can narrow down the type of responses it will generate. So this instruction can be positive or negative. You can tell Copilot what the response should be included. You can also tell it what it should not include, which is also very powerful. Sometimes you can also combine both, so to have the best results. Let's just try it out. So for example, I will try to ask Copilot to write an overview of how Microsoft 365 Copilot can help improve productivity in enterprises, and generate 3 bullet points. So as you can see, we get our key benefits. We have 3 bullet points, and so the first prompt asks for a specific number of points, such as give me a summary, which is exactly 3 main points. So if we try something else, um, so if I go back here and try to ask Copilot to write a 7-day itinerary for a trip to Japan across Tokyo and Kyoto, and I will ask him to don't include any Disney attraction. So in the second prompt, we do the opposite. We create a travel itinerary for Japan, but without including Disney attractions. So as you can see here, um, we are combining the positive and negative instruction, so you can get a response that is precise and aligned with your expectations. As you can see, there's no Disney attractions here. So Copilot is built to take actions to, so telling Copilot what to do or what not to do can be very, very effective for you. And last example here, if we go back and try something. So the one important thing to remember is that you don't have to be worried if the first prompt you try doesn't give you exactly what you want. Just keep refining your prompts based on the response that Copilot gives you. You can identify the aspects that you don't meet, that doesn't meet your expectations, and you can just add them to your prompt. So let's just try this out. So firstly, I'm gonna ask Copilot to write about advancements in renewable energy technology. As you can see, we got a good blog post here. So if I want to refine this text, I can just try something else. So I'm gonna ask to write a technical article discussing recent advancements in renewable energy technology, focusing on solar and wind energy for an audience of engineers and environmental scientists. So as you can see, it's like different, and it's exactly it's more what we wanted, and you can either even put it forward and try to ask him to compose a detailed technical article for engineers and environmental scientists exploring recent advancements and innovations in renewable energy technology with a focus on solar and wind energy. And also ask him to refer to recent research papers, pattern, and industry reports. So this is a real complete prompt, and it will give you all the informations you wanted. And it's well, you will often find that a simple prompt can evolve into a much more detailed prompt after a few iteration. So the idea is to refine the precision of your request at each step. So for example here, if I just so I'll show you here. So we had the first prompt we had was the first round, and it ended up being this one. So you always have to refine, and also just refine and iterate your prompts. So I'll have to get back to my presentations so we can continue. So we have examined many examples of prompts so far to demonstrate how to be detailed and precise when using Copilots. But let's break this down into a thought process and four categories that we have defined below. So the first example starts with the goal of getting a lasagna recipe here. So you need to find something to, so let's say you need to find something to prepare for dinner, but there's a problem, right? You're actually not like, you're actually new to cooking. So you need a recipe that is easy to follow. But the thing is, Copilot doesn't know all of this, which is why it's important to specify it in your prompt. So this way, Copilot response will be a simpler recipe that you as a beginner cook can easily follow. You can see that the final prompt incorporates the context and additional information to help you guide the response. The next example here is a bit more technical. So when you're trying to learn a technical subject, one thing Copilot is really useful for is that it can explain things in different ways. So try this the next time you want to learn something. Ask Copilot to explain it to you as if you were 5 years old. Sometimes you don't need all of the complicated terminology, but it can become too complex, right? So with Copilot, it can simplify it for you and just convey the basis that you needed. To conclude here, here are a few additional tips and tricks on the best practices for formulating prompts, and this goes for every AI engine. So first, know you have to know Copilot's limitations. So Copilot improves day by day, but there are still many areas where it fails short, and it's important to know which task Copilot excels. Um, so you have to, in order to boost your productivity, you'd rather know that Copilot have some limitations, and just don't ask him to do stuff that he isn't capable of performing. Second of all, regarding the accuracy of Copilot, there's some unpredictability that can come with the responses. So it's possible for you for Copilot to make mistakes. So you need to be sure to verify that the response is accurate using the references provided. Also, it's important for you to use quotes to be even clearer. When you're trying to create, modify, or replace certain text elements, this helps you specify your request. You can always start a new conversation by pressing the button or typing a new topic. This is helpful for changing tasks or clearing Copilot's memory. And finally, don't forget to check out Copilot Lab. In Copilot Lab, you'll find many examples of prompts that you can modify and customize. And speaking of Copilot Labs, perhaps few of you were aware that it's possible to save these prompts. But in Copilot Labs, you can save your favorite prompts so you can easily find them later. If you often perform the same task, this can be extremely helpful. Also, now in M365 chat, there's a chat history feature where you can navigate back to a previous conversation to review your old prompts and the response from Copilot. Here I share with you some useful resources once again regarding prompting, a Copilot prompting toolkit that you can all download, and documentation regarding prompts and security. So here it's the so let's move on to the demo of Copilot in Outlook and Teams. We've seen the prompting, but now it's more regarding the Outlook and Teams. So first of all, let's discover the scenario. So in this demo, we will use the example of Adventure Work Bicycle. So it's a manufacturer of e-bikes. They are developing a go-to-market plan for their new e-bikes, and let's just dive into the people and the roles that they're doing there at this. Okay. At this business. Yep. So Lee is the owner of the small business. He leads a team of employee covering the human resources, sales, marketing, and a lot of other departments. So he also oversees the design, manufacturing, and support of e-bikes. So basically, his goal is to stay informed about even happening within the organization and to promote collaboration within the team. By setting the direction for the organization, he develops strategies to define action tasks to be completed, which he then communicates to his team. So let's discover how Copilot can help Lee in his busy days. So I'm gonna share my screen here so we can go and try it out. So everyone should be able to see my screen. And I'm gonna launch the demo. So here we are in Teams, and the first step is to obviously open the Copilot app, the Copilot icon, sorry. And then as you can see, you will have the more prompts. There you have some suggestions here. You can recap the meeting so far. So, so if we press on the recap meeting, we'll get a lot of key topics. Just if we scroll a bit down here, we do have a lot of information regarding the meeting, and we can ask Copilot anything about the meeting. So if we press send, Copilot will just answer anything you just asked. You can also ask Copilot to suggest follow-up questions. So now you can use these questions to ask to the other to the participant, e- well, during or after the meetings. If we, let's say, close the meeting and go back to the chat, here you will have the recap. Here, what's nice is that you will have the intelligent recap, which is you can see all when people spoke. You also have the chapters. You have here AI notes. So if you click here, you have all the notes regarding um, the meeting. If you click on Copilot here and ask, well, you have some suggestions here. So let's just ask Copilot to list action items. And as you can see, you can use these action items to maybe just to write an email or a follow-up chat discussion. So that's how you get more time and be more productive. So let's try now regarding the Teams chat challenges. Let's see how we can easily catch up on the chat threads and easily respond to all of them. So I'm just gonna launch the demo here and just let's go to Teams. As you can see, there's a lot of new messages. So if we launch Copilot on this group, there's 4 people in it, and just ask him to highlight to give me the highlights from the past day, and Copilot can access to 30 days of messages in a group chat. So here we can ask Copilot any questions regarding the all the messages that have been sent in the chat. As you can see, we get some results from Copilot. We also have more prompts here. We can ask him what's the open items so far, and as you can see, Copilot will give you all the open items, and it's easy for you to just reply and work with your team. So let's say, for example, you're ready to send a message. Obviously, now that I'm using Copilot, um, I always try to rewrite it with Copilot before sending it. So let's try this out. Let's try to rewrite it. And as you can see, that's a better result, but maybe needs some adjustment. Let's put it much more longer, and maybe a bit more enthusiastic. So as you can see, this message is way better than this one, and we worked the initial prompt just to get that result. So that's how it should be. And then you just have to press send, and this is how you deal with the Teams chat challenges. So the next one we want to see is the Outlook challenges. So how to address and clear your inbox in a minute, to obviously to get more free time and be more productive to do other tasks. So if we open Copilot, open Outlook, and as you can see, we received the message here, an email. So if we want to reply to it, Copilot will directly analyze the email and will give you some suggestions here. Let's say we exactly wanted to apologize and confirm the review, so we just have to click here and Copilot will do all the rest for us. So Copilot drafted that email. So let's just keep it and send it. So in a matter of seconds, we just addressed one email. Here, as you can see, we have a lot of emails. We do have that email chain, which is there's 5 emails, and it will take a lot of time to just read and to go through all of it. So just let's just ask Copilot to summarize the thread and in a couple of seconds. Copilot will give you a quick summary of it. And what's interesting is that when you click on these little items, you will see exactly how does Copilot get into that response. So if we click heal 3, we will have the email that was sent by Christy. So let's say now that we want to send a new email. So you can either draft it directly with Copilot. So let's say you ask Copilot to explain to customer that there is a recall for one of your products. So you can just ask Copilot to generate that. You can also always change the tone, the length. So if that works for you, you can just click on generate. And as you can see, Copilot is crafting the first draft. So it's, as you can see, it's a good first draft. So we can keep it. So we can keep it here. You can also go check your drafts and you know when and you know you have that option which is called coaching by Copilot. So if you're not sure if your message is ready to be sent or not, you can just ask Copilot to analyze your email, and Copilot will give you hints on whether it's good for you to send it right away or maybe to make some changes. And here we have Copilot saying that you could be more polite. So for example, instead of saying that you are super frustrated by this situation, you could maybe use this situation is challenging, or I'm concerned about this situation, and you can maybe try to add more empathy. So these are how you deal with your emails with Copilot. So as you can see, in a couple of seconds, you get a lot from Copilot, and you are able to be more productive. So if I go back to the presentation here, to the closing part. So if you want to do demos like me, here's the link for you to, you will have access to a large catalog of interactive demos. So it's basically click through, and it's available by role and industries. So that's conclude my presentations, the training. So is there any questions regarding all the content I presented? Well, it seems like everything was clear. So thank you everyone, and I'm wishing you a great rest of the week.